If you don't use oil-based paint all that much because you think it's a hassle, try this tip. I essentially control my paint thinner in 3 different containers. I got a clean container, I got my container with the paint thinner in it, and then I have a settlement container here where I throw the waste products. Okay, let's open up the paint thinner. And this paint thinner's been sitting for several days, and all the solids have precipitated out. So now all I have to do is pour the clean paint thinner, see how clean it is, into this container, and just keep watching it and watching it. And if you start seeing any settlements, okay, now in here, this was the stain I used on that dresser fix a couple of weeks ago. That's the dirty paint thinner, and that goes in this bucket here. So now that just goes, this is to be disposed of. I mean, it'll be disposed of after several months. And now I have a clean container of paint thinner. I have a clean container I'll use next time, and I can clean my brush. So using this method, you can make your paint thinner last, I mean, a gallon of paint thinner will last for 6 months or longer. So for woodworking projects, I just almost never use water-based stuff. It's much more of a hassle than using a paint thinner. Now I cover this up. Hassle-free. Welcome to another Memphis Monday. Today we got a pretty fun project, a simple picture frame to mount a print in. Anyway, let's knock off the chatter and get to work. Here's a prototype I built for this project, and here's the stock I'll be using to build our frame today. And this is the profile that this stock has. First operation will be to cut the sides and the top and bottom for the frame. This stock, the rough cut will be 28 inches, and on the side pieces, the rough cut will be 20 inches. Let's do that now. Our first step on processing these frame pieces here is to make this rabbet on the inside of all the frame pieces. I could use a table saw to cut these, but I've chosen to use a rabbeting bit on my router. In this close-up, let's do that. You can see the setup here. I've got it shaded where this rabbit's going to go. The rabbit is a ½ inch wide, and it'll be a 1/4 inch deep. I'll be doing it in about 3 or 4 passes. I got the rabbet cut in all the pieces. The next step is to cut the individual, the vertical and the horizontal pieces to their correct length. The top and bottom will be 25.5 inches, and the 2 side pieces will be 20 or 18 inches. Let's get to it. I'm holding the corners together using brads and glue. I'm staining the picture frame ebony. The thing about ebony is once you stain something ebony, you pretty much own it, because it's not going to be any other color after that. Well, I got the frame all finished. Next thing we'll be doing is cutting out the glass and the backer board. I also mounted figured out how I was going to attach the backer board. This is the prototype here. What we're going to do is make these little aluminum clips. That way you can take that back off real simple. Of course, they sell a little wing nut kind of deal to do that, but I just made my own. But anyway, I feel like I'm cheating you this week, because all we're doing is a couple of picture frames. So I'm going to hook you up with something extreme and perhaps unnecessary. I'm going camping, and my little cot I use in my tent is only about 11 or 12 inches off the ground, and it's a pain in the butt to get in and out of in that little tent. So I'm working on a system to raise it up off the ground, and at the same time keep it from collapsing. But anyway, you got to admit that's pretty extreme. Okay, let's get back to the picture frames. We'll cut that glass and the backer board, and we'll get that piece of art mounted. What I'm doing is I'm taking exact measurements here for the backer board and the glass, and this is the reason you really got to make sure this thing is square when you build it, because the backer board and the glass have to fit in this rabbet, and you don't want it to be flopping around in there. So this really needs to be square, so that you can cut the glass and the backer board exactly the size. So what we have is exactly 23 this way, and exactly 15 and a half this way. Now cut that a little light, but not much. I'll be glazing the window with of the picture frame with this plexiglass. That's acrylic. I guess plexiglass is a brand name. But anyway, it cuts. There's a special knife you can buy. You can score it and cut it like glass. It's real durable. It's like 10 times stronger than glass. I'm going to cut it with the table saw, and Only problem with cutting it with a table saw is that if you're not careful, it'll get caught underneath the fence. But we'll be real careful with that. Okay, the first cut, I'll go ahead and cut this thing. Okay, this is what you want. You want you want that glass to fit in there exactly. It's not hard. It just takes a little care to make sure that your frame is square and your glass is square, and then very accurately cut your glass, and you're in like Flint. Okay, the next thing we'll be cutting out the backer board. Another hint when you're using this acrylic, when you run it through a saw and whatever you're doing to it, it develops a negative charge. It's like a Van de Graaff generator. So you got to take that cover off and then get your artwork down fast, because if you don't, it will be totally covered in dust. So you get that artwork down quick, and then you cover it, keep the dust out. And that's another reason it's important to make sure your backing plate fits down on there fairly snugly, so none of the ugliness will get in. Well, I guess I'm doing some of that fussy work nobody likes to do. I'm putting on the suspension cable, whatever it's called. Just a wire between a couple of eye bolts. Let me finish this little adventure, and we'll see what she looks like. Well, there she is, our picture frame, and is completed with it's got some acrylic glass in the front, backer plate with removable catches so you can take it on and off, and a wire in the back to hang it. Well, I guess that'll do it for another Memphis Monday. I know last week I promised an exciting episode this week, and you probably feel like you didn't get your money's worth since all we did was make a couple of picture frames. But you're forgetting one thing. You got to see my leg extensions for my camping cot. I mean, it could sweep the country. It could be the biggest thing since the Coleman lantern. You don't know. Alrighty. So thanks for watching. Make sure you comment, and I really enjoy your comments. So try to get those comments in there. And I'll see you next week with hopefully another exciting adventure. See you next week.